Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I'm here to talk about the Classic Vibe Jaguar that I have in my lap right here. This is a guitar that I featured early on in the history of the channel. I had just gotten into offsets a little bit. I bought a couple Jazz Masters and I purchased this particular instrument. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's a really cool, like dark purple color. I love the look of the instrument. However, you never have seen it on the channel since because I just do not play this thing. At first, I really thought it was because of the shorter scale length. However, in the video, which will be linked down below, where I went through this instrument on camera when I first got it and set it up, I think that it's because I put 11s on it, and also, I do not have the bridge high enough. I now know that you can really crank these bridges on offset guitars up really high to get a better result as far as, just the feel of the strings and getting a better pitch off of the bridge so that the strings don't slip off of the bridge saddles and things like that. Long story short, I think this guitar needs a serious setup. Now that I know more about offsets, I feel like I'm equipped to go ahead and demonstrate some of the things that I'm going to do on this guitar for you, in case you have an instrument just like this and you're kind of dissatisfied with it. I personally don't like 11s. For a brief moment in my career, I did play 11s quite a bit. I want to set it up for 10s, and to make 10s work on this style of guitar, we are going to have to shim the neck a little bit more. I'm going to put a 1-degree shim in so that we can get that pitch up. Show it like this. So we have the neck come up a little bit like that. We can raise this bridge up, get a really good amount of tension on that bridge off of the vibrato system, and then put some 10s on it. It should hold really stable after that. I thought that this video would be very brief as far as the behind the scenes work. However, when I decided to go ahead and go through the guitar to decide to do this work, I discovered that I had a number of uneven frets, so a fret level is in order. Once I get the fret level done, we'll be at the bench for a little bit. I'll go over putting in the neck shim, and then we'll raise the bridge up, and then we'll end the video with a quick play test, and you'll see the final result. All right, I'll see you right now at the bench. And here we are at the bench. It's about 3 or 4 hours later. I have leveled and crowned and polished these frets, so the neck is perfect. And just as a cautionary tale to anybody who's, undertaking like a fairly significant setup change like I'm doing here, before you go through all the effort of adjusting your bridge, changing things out, putting a shim in, whatever it is that you may be doing, check to make sure that your frets are level. If they are uneven, if there are high frets and low frets, all of this other work will be meaningless because you'll still have buzzes, you'll still have dead spots, you'll still have problems. So anyway, I'm very pleased that I got this neck taken care of. Now, onto the shim. Pretty simple stuff here. So there's a thicker side right here, going to a thinner side. The taper is 1 degree. So we want to place that fatter side right here into the heel of the guitar and make sure that it has a decent fit. I went ahead and trimmed this one just using a pair of scissors. They cut really easily. Just a wooden shim. I bought it on Amazon years and years ago. You can buy little kits of these shims very inexpensively. So anyway, now that I have it in the pocket, I now want to go ahead and not hit that light above me and fit the neck in. It's a little awkward. I am just holding it on my shoulder here. Make sure I'm not hitting anything as I turn it around and I take a look. This is awkward, trying to film and do this at the same time. And I want to look and see how that looks in the pocket. I can still see a little bit of the shim peeking through there. So I'm going to take the neck off, kind of take another look there at how that's sitting. I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit more off this side because we don't want to see the shim at all. We want that to be an invisible thing that just lives inside the guitar to get this neck angle proper. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and scoop this light a little bit so I have a little bit more room to maneuver this time. we'll take a look. That looks really good. And now I will reach over and grab my drill and my neck plate and screws, and just holding the guitar upright, making sure that that shim has not moved around too much or moved at all. You don't want it to move at all. It should just sit right there in the pocket nicely. We're going to go ahead and get our screws ready to go here. And the way that I like to do this is I like to tighten up, since I'm putting a shim in, and we want this neck angle to be pitched, you know, back like this. We're trying to, you know, we're shifting it with that shim to come up like that. I will tighten these front, or the top two screws first, to really make sure that we're emphasizing that shim. And I'm using the drill just to get them in there. And then I'll take my hand screwdriver to do the final tighten. And I tighten those front, or those top two screws first. The screws going up to the headstock. Then we'll put these in. And I can go ahead and use my drill just to pop those in, and then we'll give them a hand tighten. And you notice how I pull the drill back just so I'm not, you know, grinding the drill into the screw heads and stripping them out. Do a little hand tighten here. Hand tighten there. Check these top screws again. Those are good and tight. And then give these the final tighten here. Okay, we have our neck back on. We have our shim in. Now the next critical step is to go ahead and get our bridge. I'll move this forward a little bit. I know where the camera angle lies pretty much here. And we'll go ahead and scoot this forward a little bit. We're going to throw our bridge in. And using a dead flat rule like this, I will just go ahead and from the nut to the bridge, kind of get a sense of how high that bridge needs to be. And it needs to come up a little bit. And I think I can get it into a rough, you know, a rough setting. Pretty much by that eyeball right there that I just did using the straight edge. I also went ahead and took the grub screws inside of this, you know, Jaguar style bridge, and I put a little thread locker in there so that after I make my adjustments, I can feel that it's already nice and firm. There will be no rattling. There will be no, you know, unwanted noise coming from those grub screws because I put a little blue thread locker in there. And now just looking at that, I'm already at least 4 millimeters higher on my bridge using that 1 degree neck shim. And I think, just looking at this as if it were the string, I'm almost there, and I can even come up a little bit higher, which is a good thing, because using 10s, I'm going to have a much better amount of tension and string break going over this bridge. So, there you have it. Now, let's hear how it sounds. And here we are. The guitar is fully set up. I have 10s on it now. My bridge is sitting like a good 4 to 5 millimeters higher than it was before, giving me a great string break. You know, the fret level didn't hurt things either. I've got no dead notes. I've got no weirdness. But the big change is in having the neck pitched, you know, up a little bit more with that 1 degree shim, giving me the better bridge break, and going to 10s. 10s has made all the difference on this guitar. I don't believe it would have played clean though with 10s, even with, you know, the fret dress and all that stuff, the fret level and dress. I still don't think it would play very well with 10s on it unless I put that shim in, because the break over the bridge would not have been enough to keep those slightly lighter gauge strings engaged in both the bridge saddles and keeping everything stable. Right now the guitar is very tuning stable. It's been a full day. I've been playing it a lot, and you know, I can use the vibrato all I want and it stays in tune. Go ahead. And also, as a quick note before I turn on the amp here, It plays really clean too. Unamplified, which is a key thing for me with an electric guitar. I have a whole video about that where I talk about it's got to play clean. So if I can hear every note and every note's nice and clean with no buzzing, no nastiness, with the action as low as I have it set, this is like at 1.75 mil as far as the distance of the string off the 12th fret all the way across. Having the action that low and everything like that and having it play clean, indicative of a perfect setup. I think this goes to show that Jaguars can be set up just fine with 10s and perform as well, if not better, than they do with heavier strings. I just find the playing experience to be a lot more satisfying. Now back to the vibrato system here, you know. And it stays in tune just fine. Having those 10s on there just makes it so much more enjoyable for me to play. I feel like now this is an instrument I will reach for and gladly put more into rotation. I'm also, I'm beginning to, embrace a little bit more of the 24-inch scale. Do a little bit of lead stuff here on the rhythm pickup. And that's it. I just thought that it would be of value to a lot of people, looking at shorter scale instruments, especially ones that may have, this classic, Jaguar Jazzmaster vibrato system on them. Going through and doing these kind of setups on an offset is really critical. Sometimes you have to experiment quite a bit before you come up with the right formula. I know it took me a while to get the blue Jazzmaster back there all set up, and it's one of my most played guitars now, and I'm hoping this one joins the ranks now. I believe it will be, and hopefully we'll be seeing it more on the channel. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you've watched the video to this point, please hit subscribe. Likes and shares are also greatly appreciated, and leave anything in the comments about your experiences with setting up these type of guitars, anything I may have overlooked, talk about neck shims and all sorts of fun stuff, and look forward to it in the comments. All right, you take care, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.